Jay Clark here. Today we're going to give you a few tips on changing the fuel filter on a Honda CRF 250, also same as a current 450. We're going to pull the tank off and show you how to install a new fuel filter from Honda in there. They recommend changing it 30 hours or so, so we're going to pop one off and put it on there for you today. So at this point here, we're going to unplug. This is the electronics for the fuel pump, and then we're going to unplug the fuel line. There's a pinch bolt. Sometimes you can get it with your fingers. Sometimes you need a little pliers on there. If you can get it with your fingers, probably a little safer. Pulls out. You just lose a tiny bit of fuel when it pops off. Okay, so now we're changing the fuel filter. We've got the tank off. We're going to we need to dump all the fuel out, obviously. So you want to dump all the fuel out of the tank and keep it all clean. Then you can work with the tank a lot easier with all the fuel out. So a good idea to mark the tank. Just make it easier for you to have everything in line. So you know which way it's all pointing, you throw it back together. Have somebody hold the tank for you and you can pop all these loose. Just go around the tank evenly, let them all out. So it's a good idea as you pull the bolts off, you keep the washers and the spacers all in the same order. They're spring-loaded washers. Okay, so we got the fuel pump loose, so we're going to pull it out. And we're going to set the fuel pump on the bench, and one of the things we want to do right away is try to prevent any more dirt getting into the tank. So we're going to wipe that down. So we want to carefully wipe away all this dirt. It's really hard to get to without the fuel pump off. You just want to make sure all that stuff gets out of the way. We're going to do it like this, and then we're going to put a little contact cleaner on it and try and get it all off. So just clean it all really good. So on the fuel pump, you have to take off the wires. So you want to make sure you put a mark. They already a stock one. We just want to make sure that we know the black mark goes to the black wire. We just undo these clips. There's 3 all the way around. They pop off pretty easy, just with your fingers. You don't need a screwdriver or anything. Just wiggle it apart, and we're out. Now see the filter, we have all these pieces right here in the stock Honda kit that comes you can replace. So we'll start with the filter, which turns. You kind of push down and turn. Okay, you can see our old filter and our new filter. There's a little cap on here. You pull that off before you go to install the filter. Then filter, you drop it in. Takes a little pressure to push down on. You kind of turn it as you push it. And you feel it as it turns, it gets butted up firmly against the metal piece of the center of the pump. Now they give you new O-rings here. Most of them are fine, but since they give them to you, you might as well replace them. Put the new O-rings in. And they're pretty loose. They don't need a lot of pressure to get out. This seal there. So as you just push in, you can just clip one at a time. And then we can plug our wires back in. They go in pretty easy, black to black on our black mark. Just want to feel them so that they're all the way down and nice and in their same place. We have the new O-rings here, stock O-rings. We'll lay those there. The stock ones actually are probably fine, but they give you some new ones, so we'll throw some new ones on. And you can put a hair bit of grease on the gas tank surface so that it slides in nicer. As you lay the O-ring there with a little bit of grease on it, you can reinstall the pump. Straight away line up your marks from before. The fuel line's pointing forward. And that's about how far away it sits. You got to start all the bolts, and you're just going to get them all finger started. As I hold down, I can slowly tighten around on one side and then swap right across from it, work away in a pattern. This keeps the O-ring from getting pinched. Have somebody hold it and get them good and tight. The washers are spring loaded, so they're nice, good and snug, like that. Now flip the tank over, and we're going to put fuel in the tank and just let the tank sit for a minute or two and just make sure you don't have any leaks before you put it on the bike. So we'll just put a little bit of gas in there and let it sit for 5 minutes or so and just make sure that there's no leaks. Okay, so we've had fuel in our tank for about 5 minutes, no leaks, so we're ready to throw it back on. Just throw it back on the same way. Just be careful, you put your fuel line on through clip and then your cap on here. And if you have your cable, you can hook up your cable back on and then tighten up your tank as you normally would, and you're ready to go. So probably about a 30, 40 minute job if you take your time and do it right. Good luck.